All right, pull up a chair, honey girl, because you need to hear this. Settle in, let the world outside fade away for a moment. Let me pour you something sweet. The taste of honeyed wine, rich and golden, is the flavor of old stories and new beginnings. My name is Inanna. Maybe you know me as Ishtar, Astarte, or even Aphrodite if you're into the later versions. I'm the queen of heaven and earth, goddess of love, war, and fertility. Not just a pretty face, honey. I run the show. My family, all gods. My dad is Nanar, my grandpa's Anu, the boss of the universe. So, yeah, I come from power. Kings build temples for me. Mortals pray for everything from crops to romance. It's a lot of pressure. But being the goddess of love, my own love life was a mess. Everyone had an opinion, and finding someone who could handle all of? Nearly impossible. Before Dumuzi, I was living my best life. Single, powerful, and not looking for a husband. But when your family is a bunch of gods, their plans happen whether you like it or not. Suddenly, the divine rumor mill is buzzing. Inanna needs a consort, someone whose union with me would keep the world in balance. No pressure, right? This wasn't just about love, it was about the fate of civilization. And that's where this whole crazy story begins. I had the Emmys, and now I was missing one piece to my chessboard, my king piece. You see, this game is chess, not checkers, girl. It's a warm evening in Uruk, stars sparkling above, the city humming with secrets and dreams. People see Inanna, queen of heaven and earth, and think I don't need anyone. They see the crown, the power, and forget the heart beneath it. But even the most powerful queen needs her king. Alone, the crown is heavy. Together, it's shared. Life, love, power, it's all a grand game of chess. Every piece has its purpose, every move its consequence. The world is a chessboard. Every sunrise, a turn, every choice, a move. Each day we step forward, never quite sure what the next move will bring. As queen, I move any way I please, across deserts, into battle, or back to protect what's mine. My journey is never just a straight line, but a queen alone is just a piece. Power without purpose is empty. With her king, she has a kingdom. Together, they are more than the sum of their parts. The king is the heart of the game, the reason for the fight. He is the anchor, the center that holds everything together. If your king falls, you lose. That's the lesson. Protect what matters most or risk losing it all. A woman can conquer, shine, and rule, but she needs a center, a reason, a truth to come home to. That's the king's role, the one who grounds her. When folks ask why I need a man, I point to the board. It's not about need, it's about strategy. It's about building something lasting, together. A queen can win a battle, but together, king and queen build a dynasty. Alone, you can win a fight. Together, you win the future. Power isn't just about how far you can move, but what you're moving toward. Every step is for something greater. For me, it's always been about a shared throne, a shared life, a shared victory. That's how you build a legacy that lasts beyond the game. Let's talk about how we move, honey. In the game of life, just like on the chessboard, every move tells a story of power, patience, and partnership. I'm a whirlwind, blessing harvests, starting wars, teaching love and justice. My energy is fierce, unpredictable, and full of purpose, shaping destinies wherever I go. The queen's power is her reach, but her challenge is staying grounded. She can sweep across the board, but must remember her roots, her center. The king? He moves one square at a time, slow, deliberate, focused. Each step is measured, every decision made with care and intention. Some call it weakness, but it's his strength. His restraint is wisdom, not limitation. He holds the center, the anchor in the storm. When chaos swirls, he remains unshaken, a steady force. His steady presence lets me be gloriously chaotic. I can take risks, knowing he's there to catch me if I fall. A true queen needs a king who's a steady force, not another fast-moving piece. She needs someone who complements her, not competes with her. We need honesty, respect, humor, and a man with his own purpose. Someone who stands tall beside me, not in my shadow. He must be emotionally available, a safe square to land on, a place where I can rest, recharge, and feel truly seen. Communication is everything. That one-step move must be intentional. Every word, every gesture matters in this dance. He supports my wild moves, trusts my judgment, and never tries to control me. His faith in me gives me wings. A good king protects the space I need to be magnificent. He creates a sanctuary for my brilliance to shine. He's not my competitor. he's my supporter, my calm in the storm. Together, we amplify each other's strengths. Together, we're not just playing the game, we're rewriting the rules. We create our own strategy, our own destiny. That's the secret to a powerful partnership. It's about building something greater than ourselves. It's not about control, it's about trust and balance. That's how we win, together, side by side. When it was time to choose my king, the world watched. Gods lined up, rich men offered fortunes, but I wanted more than flash. I found Dumuzi, my shepherd, out in the fields. People questioned my choice. A shepherd, not a warrior? But Dumuzi's strength was the kind that lasts. He knew the earth, the seasons, the sacred duty of care. His power was quiet, steady, real. He matched my wild spirit with his grounded soul. He was honest, kind, and proud of his purpose. He celebrated my victories, held me in my darkness, and never tried to change me. Our union brought balance, city and countryside, goddess and shepherd. Together, we united the world and made it prosper. That's a true power move. A king and queen don't play alone. The board is filled with other pieces, each with a role. Rooks are my warriors, charging straight ahead, protecting the kingdom's edges. Bishops are the priests and wise ones, moving in subtle, diagonal ways, keepers of secrets and intuition. Knights are the tricksters and heroes, leaping over obstacles, breaking the rules to save the day. Each piece brings something vital: direct strength, hidden wisdom, creative courage. A wise queen uses them all, orchestrating their strengths. The game isn't just about the queen's power, but her ability to lead a diverse court. Every piece matters. Without them, the king and queen are vulnerable. It's a dance, a symphony of movement. That's how a kingdom thrives. Let's talk about the pawns, honey. They may seem small, but their story is anything but insignificant. They're the heart and soul of the kingdom, the people who fill the streets, work the fields, and keep the city alive. Moving forward, one step at a time, they build the future with their hands, their dreams, and their determination. Their power is in their numbers and their will, united by a common purpose that can move mountains. A wise queen never forgets her strength is built on their backs, and her legacy depends on their loyalty and hope. But nobody wants to be just a pawn, lost in the crowd or forgotten in the shadows. Every soul wants to matter, to become more, to rise above their station and be seen for who they truly are. In chess, a pawn that reaches the end can become a queen, a symbol of transformation and possibility. That's the hope that fuels the world, the promise of transformation, the belief that anyone can achieve greatness. My sacred duty is to help people on their journey, to see the queen inside every pawn, and to nurture their potential. A ruler who honors her people builds an army of queens. Every piece matters. Every life is a story worth telling. Every life has the potential for glory, and every pawn can shine if given the chance. My love for Dumuzi was a story of balance, a delicate dance between two worlds. I am Inanna of the city, power in temples, markets, and the laws that shape our lives. Dumuzi was of the wild, open steppe, endless cycles of nature, life and death intertwined. Our sacred marriage brought these two worlds together in harmony. The city needs the country. Order always needs wildness to thrive. My ambition needs his grounding. His raw power needs my structure and vision. We were two whole worlds, choosing to align and walk together. Our partnership celebrated our differences as our greatest strength and gift. True power is found in harmony, never in dominance alone. I see the whole board. He holds the heart that guides us. When city and country are balanced, the entire kingdom thrives together. Our love was a lesson. Real strength is always found in unity. That's how dynasties are truly born and endure. One day, my brother Utu, the sun god, shows up grinning. He starts hyping up this guy, Dumuzi. He's a shepherd, a king, perfect for you. I'm thinking, really? I'm the queen of heaven and you want to set me up with a guy who smells like sheep? My family was relentless. My mom said a good husband would bring stability. UTU kept singing Dumuzi's praises. They saw him as the perfect consort for a fertility goddess, a symbol of prosperity and abundance. All I saw was a guy who probably had wool stuck in his teeth. I felt like a pawn in their divine game, and if there's one thing I hate, it's not being in control. So I decided, if they wanted me to marry Dumuzi, he'd have to earn it. I wasn't about to become Mrs. Shepherd King just because my family said so. I'm Inanna. I wrestle with demons before breakfast. If Dumuzi wanted me, he'd have to prove he was worthy. Not just as a consort, but as a man who could keep up with me. The game was on, and trust me, I played to win. Let's see if he could handle it. My strategy? Make myself completely unavailable. Enter Enkidu the farmer. Reliable, steady, and most importantly, Dumuzi. Whenever Dumuzi came around, I'd be busy with Enkidu, discussing irrigation or whatever. I made it seem like I was seriously considering the farmer over the shepherd. Classic move. It was a test. In my world, a goddess can't just give her heart to the first guy with a flock of sheep. Playing hard to get separates the men from the boys. By hyping up Enkidu, I sent Dumuzi a message. You're not my only option. It created urgency, competition, and made me seem even more valuable. Meanwhile, I got to watch Dumuzi from a distance, see how he handled rejection and competition. Did he give up or get creative? That told me everything I needed to know. A man who gives up easily isn't fit to stand by my side. So yeah, I played hard to get, and it worked. Suddenly, it was Team Farmer versus Team Shepherd, and I was the prize. Enkidu, the farmer, offered stability, baskets of grain, a calm life, always enough. I offer you the bounty of the earth. With me, you'll always have enough. Dumuzi, the shepherd, was all about abundance and luxury. Cream, butter, fine wool. I give you the finest cream, the sweetest butter. Not just sustenance, but luxury. Dumuzi knew he was in a competition, and he came to win. He started a poetic debate, selling a dream, not just a product. The symbolism was thick. The farmer offered raw goods. The shepherd offered refinement and civilization. Sister, Dumuzi is not just a shepherd. He's a king's son of Enki. Your union is written in the stars. My mother said, my daughter, think of what he can offer. Not just to you, but to everyone. Their support shifted my perspective. Maybe this shepherd was more than he seemed. He was a king from the bloodline of Anu, son of Enki, who overstood true wealth. Someone who could nurture a kingdom, not just a flock. The debate was fierce, but Dumuzi was winning me over, and I was starting to see why. Now, before I get into my wedding with Dumuzi, let me tell you how I got the title Ishtar. My family had rules, and by their laws, the one born in the territory had the strongest right to rule it. I wasn't just a pretty princess waiting for a throne. I'm smart, ambitious, and overstood power. Earth was my prize, and I believed it was my destiny to protect it and lead its people. The Anunnaki weren't the only players in the galaxy. One of the next biggest is the Ashtar Command, led by Sharon. I knew I needed allies to secure my rule and protect Earth. I set my sights on making a deal with Sharon, a deal that would change everything. I wasn't just thinking about today or tomorrow. I was planning for centuries. I had incredible charisma and a strategic mind. I watched Sharon, learning his character, strengths, and weaknesses. I knew a direct approach wouldn't work. To get his attention, I had to do something bold, something unforgettable, something that would prove I was his equal. How does a young goddess get a meeting with the most powerful commander? I was clever. I arranged to have myself delivered to Sharon's private quarters, rolled up inside a luxurious carpet. Imagine the scene. Sharon, serious and focused, receives a delivery. His guards unroll the carpet and out comes me, bold and confident. This act alone told Sharon everything about my character. It showed courage, creativity, and a willingness to break rules. He wasn't angry, he was impressed. I bypassed all the red tape, putting me face to face with the one person I needed to convince. I laid out my vision for Earth and a partnership with the Ashtar Command. My intelligence and passion were impossible to ignore. Sharon saw in me a reflection of his own strengths. He was captivated by my audacity and brilliance. An alliance with Earth's ruling family would be a major victory for the Ashtar Command. My daring entrance was the ultimate power play, and it worked better than I could have imagined. The gamble paid off. The alliance was formed. The political alliance between I and Sharon blossomed into a deep personal connection. The deal was for me to surrogate mother 3 daughters for him, unique symbols of our powerful union. Each daughter was a blend of their parents' lineages, living symbols of the union between Earth's Anunnaki royalty and the cosmic guardians. Their appearances told a story of blended heritage. One daughter had striking red hair and vibrant green eyes, linking her to ancient Earth lines. Another had black hair and with dark eyes the color of the cosmos, connecting her to the mother. The third daughter was a balanced mix of her sisters, with brunette hair and brown or gray eyes. They were living proof of the alliance, political statements in their own right. Their existence solidified the bond between me and Ashtar Command and our respective powers. My daughters were the bridge between two worlds. With this powerful alliance, my status skyrocketed. Sharon and the Ashtar Command recognized me as the rightful ruler of Earth, bestowing upon me the title Ishtar. This wasn't just a name, it was a declaration. It announced to the cosmos that Earth was under my rule and the protection of the Ashtar Command. But here's where the story takes a turn. My children and descendants faced challenges. The one-drop rule began to take hold, defining people by ancestry. My children were celebrated for their mixed heritage, but later generations found themselves caught between worlds. Worse, the Ashtar Command eventually broke their promise. Internal politics caused them to withdraw protection, leaving my descendants vulnerable. Without their guardians, they had to navigate Earth's political landscape alone. The broken promise was a devastating blow. I shouldn't have trusted them suckers. Now back to my wedding. Once I said yes, things moved fast. This was no ordinary wedding, it was a divine event. Dumuzi arrived with gifts for my whole family, treasures, livestock, everything to show he could provide. My parents were thrilled, the whole city was buzzing. Then came the ritual bath, sacred water, fragrant oils, stunning bridal attire. It was about transformation, not just looking fabulous. I was led to the bridal chamber, decorated with cedar and cypress, the bed covered in soft wool, symbols of fertility and comfort. This was the sacred marriage, not just a physical union, but a cosmic event guaranteeing prosperity for the land. Inanna, radiant queen, with you, the land will flourish. Dumuzi knelt before me, offered one final poem, and in that moment I knew I'd made the right choice. He was my partner, not just a king or a shepherd. Our union was the fusion of nature and civilization, power and abundance. The celebration outside was for the people, but this moment was for us, and for the cosmos. It was the ultimate wedding night. The world was our guest, and love was the main event. The wedding of the century, literally. Why does our wedding story still matter? Because it was more than just a love story, it was the engine that powered the world. Our sacred marriage was a promise. Rains would come, crops would grow, people would thrive. Every year, the king and high priestess reenacted our union, hitting the cosmic reset button for peace and prosperity. Our love was the ultimate blessing for the community. Looking back, I have no regrets. Dumuzi was a true partner. He celebrated my power, not intimidated by it. Our love balanced passion and responsibility, personal happiness and public duty. And honestly, that's what love and marriage are still about today. The big wedding, the gifts, the family involvement, it's all still there. People want their union to be a celebration, a public declaration of love and commitment. The details have changed, but the heart of it is the same. Love is about finding someone who gets you, who challenges you, who makes you feel like the center of the universe. Whether you're a goddess in ancient Sumer or a girl in California, the dream is the same. A love worth telling stories about for thousands of years. And ours? Honey, it was one for the books. Even with broken treaties, my legacy was written in stone. On Earth, I became a key goddess in Mesopotamian culture. The name Ishtar became synonymous with power, love, and war. I'm worshipped in temples from Sumer to Babylon. People didn't know the whole story about Ashtar Command and my galactic deals. I'm the goddess of Venus, a fierce warrior with a chariot pulled by lions. My reputation was complex, just like the powerful woman today. I am known for my many loves, reflecting my political skill. Each relationship was a story of power and passion. These myths remembered my charisma and boldness. The title Queen of Heaven and Earth cemented my role as the ultimate female deity. my influence spread far beyond Mesopotamia. I am the blueprint for the powerful, independent woman. My story is a reminder that the greatest legends are born from bold acts, and that's the real story. People think the point of the game is checkmate, winning at all costs. But real victory is playing a beautiful game. In love, there's no other side. It's you and your king against chaos and time. True victory is a king and queen, side by side, building something magnificent. Harmony is balance, knowing when to charge ahead and when to stand together. It's honoring every piece in your life and seeing the queen in every pawn. Even a goddess needs a king, not out of weakness, but for a partnership built on respect and love. That harmony resonates from heaven to earth. It's not about checkmate. It's about creating a game so beautiful the gods themselves would weep to watch. That's a victory that lasts for eternity. I stand before you not only as a queen, but as a devoted wife, a sister, and a witness to an age of wonder and sorrow. My story is one of love, loss, and hope, a tale woven through the golden threads of memory and longing. It is a story that begins in joy, but is shadowed by grief, and yet, through it all, endures with the promise of renewal. My beloved husband, Dumuzi, was Egypt's kindest king. He was not only my partner in rule, but the very heart of our land. His wisdom was as deep as the Nile, his voice gentle as the evening breeze, and his presence brought comfort to all who beheld him. When Dumuzi ascended the throne, Egypt was wild and untamed. He transformed barren lands into a thriving civilization, teaching our people to farm the rich black soil, to brew nourishing beer, and to live by just and merciful laws. He showed them how to harness the gifts of the Nile, turning chaos into order and hunger into abundance. Under his wise and gentle rule, Egypt flourished as never before. The granaries overflowed with golden grain, the markets bustled with laughter and trade, and peace reigned from the delta to the distant cataracts. No one went hungry, and the people rejoiced in the blessings of the land. The people called him the good God, for his kindness was legendary. His presence was a blessing, and his smile could calm the fiercest storm. He listened to the pleas of the humble and the mighty alike, and his justice was swift but fair. Dumuzi led with wisdom, not fear. He ruled not with an iron fist, but with an open hand and a compassionate heart. His compassion brought harmony to the two lands, uniting Upper and Lower Egypt in a bond of trust and respect. The court was a place of laughter and learning where all voices could be heard. I loved him deeply. He was my friend, my husband, my other half. Our souls were entwined from the beginning, destined to walk this earth together. In his arms I found strength and solace, and together we dreamed of a world filled with light and harmony. Together we ruled as one soul, our hearts beating in unison for the good of our people. We shared every joy and every sorrow, every triumph and every trial. Our love was the foundation upon which Egypt's golden age was built. But even the brightest light casts a shadow. In the midst of our happiness, a subtle darkness began to creep into our lives, a shadow that grew longer with each passing day, threatening to eclipse all that we had built. In our own family, a terrible jealousy was growing, a darkness that would soon threaten everything. Dumuzi's brother Set, consumed by envy and bitterness, watched from the shadows, plotting to shatter the peace we had worked so hard to create. Little did we know, the golden age was about to be tested by a storm unlike any we had ever faced. In the earliest days, when the world was still young and the Nile's waters had only just begun to shape the land, Dumuzi, my beloved, taught men the sacred art of cultivation. He showed them how to harness the power of the river, to turn the rich black soil into fields of golden grain. Under his guidance, the people learned to plow, to sow, and to reap, transforming the wild earth into a land of abundance. The Nile's annual flood, a gift from the gods, brought life to the valley, and Dumuzi ensured that every harvest was a celebration of nature's generosity. While Dumuzi guided the men in the ways of the field, I, Inanna, shared my wisdom with the people. I gathered the women and children, teaching them the secrets of the home and the mysteries of healing. My words were gentle, yet filled with power, for I knew that true strength lay not only in the body, but in the mind and spirit. I taught them to care for one another, to nurture the sick, and to honor the cycles of life and death. Our partnership was a perfect balance, he, radiant as the sun, bringing warmth and light to the world. I, the fertile earth, receiving his energy and transforming it into life. Together, we were the heartbeat of Egypt, our love reflected in every growing plant and every flowing stream. The people saw us as the embodiment of harmony, a union that brought order to chaos and hope to despair. I taught the women to grind grain with patient hands, to bake bread that would nourish their families, and to weave linen as fine as the clouds above. These were not just tasks, but sacred arts, passed down from mother to daughter, binding generations together. Through these skills, the women became the keepers of tradition, the heart of every household, and the silent architects of Egypt's prosperity. Together, Dumuzi and I brought not just survival, but culture and beauty. The villages thrived with music and laughter during the harvest festivals. Artisans shaped clay into delicate pottery, and goldsmiths crafted jewelry that sparkled like the stars. Every meal shared, every song sung was a tribute to the bounty we had inspired. The people learned to celebrate life, to find joy in their work, and to honor the gifts of the earth. Our love was Egypt's strength, a force so powerful that even the land itself seemed to rejoice in our union. The fields grew greener, the rivers ran clearer, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers. Festivals in our honor brought the people together, uniting them in gratitude and hope. In every corner of the kingdom, our presence was felt, a reminder that harmony between the divine and the mortal could create wonders. The people honored us, not out of fear, but out of deep gratitude. They brought offerings of bread, fruit, and flowers to our temples, kneeling in reverence and singing hymns of thanks. Their hearts were full, for they knew that their prosperity was born from our love and guidance. In return, we watched over them, blessing their fields and protecting their homes from harm. We were the divine parents of Egypt, nurturing the land and its people as our own children. Our harmony was our greatest achievement, a legacy that shaped the destiny of a nation. In our embrace, Egypt flourished, and the people dreamed of a future filled with peace and plenty. Yet even in this paradise, envy was festering in the shadows. Unseen and unspoken, it crept through palace corridors and darkened temples, waiting for the moment to strike. The seeds of betrayal had been sown, threatening to tear apart all that we had built, and to plunge Egypt into darkness once more. Dumuzi, also known as Osiris' brother Set, Lord of the Desert, watched our success with burning jealousy. While we nurtured life, he embodied chaos and violence. Set craved the love and power Dumuzi held. He whispered against Dumuzi, calling him weak, boasting of his own strength. Unable to defeat Dumuzi openly, Set turned to trickery. He gathered conspirators and devised a cruel plan, a magnificent chest crafted to fit Dumuzi alone. Disguised as a gift, it was a beautiful coffin. Set would present it at a grand banquet, turning celebration into betrayal. In the heart of Egypt, beneath the gilded ceilings of a magnificent palace, Set orchestrated a grand banquet in honor of his brother Dumuzi. The invitation was extended to every god and noble, promising a night of splendor and unity. The air was thick with the scent of roasted meats, sweet fruits, and rare spices as servants hurried to and fro, ensuring every detail was perfect. Set, with a smile that masked his true intentions, welcomed each guest with open arms, his eyes lingering on Dumuzi with a calculated warmth. Dumuzi, ever trusting and noble, believed this gathering to be a genuine gesture of reconciliation. He saw in Set's invitation a chance to heal old wounds and bring peace to their divine family. With his characteristic grace, Dumuzi mingled among the guests, his presence radiating calm and hope. He had no reason to suspect that beneath the surface of this celebration, a dark plot was unfolding. The banquet hall overflowed with music, laughter, and the clinking of goblets. Dancers spun in mesmerizing patterns, and the gods exchanged stories of old. Yet amidst the revelry, I, Inanna, could not shake a growing sense of unease. There was something in Set's gaze, a flicker of malice behind his charming facade, that made my heart race with worry. The joy around me felt fragile, as if it could shatter at any moment. As the night reached its peak, Set commanded attention by unveiling a breathtaking chest, crafted from the finest cedar and inlaid with gold and precious stones. Its beauty captivated every eye in the room. With a theatrical flourish, Set announced that this magnificent chest would be a prize for whoever could fit inside it perfectly, turning the feast into a game and drawing the curiosity of all present. One by one, the guests eagerly accepted the challenge, stepping into the chest and finding themselves either too large or too small. Laughter filled the hall as each attempt failed. Finally, Dumuzi, encouraged by the crowd and Set's urging, approached the chest. To everyone's amazement, he fit inside perfectly, as if the chest had been made for him alone. In a heartbeat, the atmosphere shifted. Set's smile vanished, replaced by a look of ruthless triumph. He and his loyal followers sprang into action, slamming the lid shut over Dumuzi. They sealed it tight with heavy nails and poured molten lead over the seams, ensuring there was no escape. The joyous celebration dissolved into panic and horror as the guests realized the terrible betrayal unfolding before their eyes. The grand banquet, once filled with laughter and hope, became a scene of unspeakable horror. My beloved Dumuzi, the just and gentle king, was betrayed and trapped by his own brother. In that moment, the bonds of family and trust were shattered, and the fate of Egypt was forever changed. Chaos erupted as the chest was sealed. I screamed and tried to reach Dumuzi, but Set's conspirators held me back. They carried the chest to the Nile and cast it into the river, turning our source of life into an instrument of death. My grief echoed across Egypt, and the land fell silent in mourning. The Golden Age ended, chaos triumphed, but even in despair, I found determination. I vowed to find Dumuzi, no matter where the river had taken him. My love was stronger than death. I would bring him back. I transformed into a kite, searching the Nile's vast delta for the chest. I questioned every creature, but the river had carried it far away. My journey led me beyond Egypt to Byblos, where I learned the chest had washed ashore and become encased in a tamarisk tree, now a palace pillar. Disguised as an old woman, I gained the queen's trust and discovered Dumuzi was trapped within the pillar. I was close, but freeing him would require patience and cunning. I revealed myself to Queen Astarte, who gave me the pillar. I freed the chest and found Dumuzi's lifeless body inside. With help, I returned to Egypt and hid him in the marshes, planning to restore him with magic. But Set discovered us, tore Dumuzi's body into 14 pieces, and scattered them across Egypt. My sister Nephthys joined me, and together we searched the land, gathering each piece. Our task was grim, but we would not rest until we had found every part. As we found each piece, we wrapped it in linen. Anubis, master of embalming, joined us. We found 13 pieces. The last was lost to the Nile. I fashioned a replacement with magic. Anubis performed the first embalming, and we created the first mummy, giving hope of eternal life. Our tears and spells infused the wrappings. Now, I had to breathe life back into Dumuzi, to gather his soul for one final act of love and defiance against Set. With Dumuzi mummified, I transformed into a kite and breathed life into him. For a moment, his spirit returned, and in that union, I conceived our son Tammuz, also called Haru, a symbol of hope and renewal. Dumuzi became king of the underworld, offering resurrection to all who lived justly. I hid in the marshes to protect Horus from Set, raising him in secret. When grown, Haru challenged Set, and after a fierce battle, restored order to Tamari. The Golden Age was reborn. My love had not been in vain.